There are tons of things that I love about watch collecting. However, just like with anything else in life, there are things that I don't like about watch collecting. And today we're going to be talking about 3 things that I just don't like about watch collectors and watch collecting. The first thing I really don't like about watch collecting is something that I've actually done myself. The hell with everyone else's opinions except for your own. That's the only one that matters. Except maybe your significant others, which I just recently learned when I did a video with my wife.
I'm not a huge fan. It's not doing it for me. Is it comfortable? It looks really big and flat.
3 out of 10, man.
100 out of 10. That might be one of the ugliest IWCs I've seen in a while.
Give us a real score.
For me, it's like a meh. That's a big boy.
I learned that she didn't like any of my watches. I did take that to heart. It hasn't really changed my opinion on any of the watches in my collection. That might have been different in the past. Right now, it doesn't matter what other people think about any of my watches. There are so many cool watches out there. You should find the ones that fit you. Collecting should be fun, not stressful. People do crazy things to fit in or impress others. Don't ever go into debt to buy a watch that you think others are going to think is cool. That's the worst thing you can do. It won't make you happy and it won't impress anyone else. You should only concentrate on impressing yourself. Collect what you like. Don't worry about what other people think. It's your money, it's your time, it's your wrist, it's your style. Live your best life. If that means you love Hublot, then wear a Hublot. Maybe you hate Hublot. Maybe you hate them for all the right reasons. Not because someone told you to hate them, because maybe you don't think they look good. That's fine. But if you love them, that's also fine. Don't let anyone influence you in either direction. And again, including myself. If you love the watches that I talk about here on my channel, you're really going to love the website that I'm about to tell you about. It's called Wrist Rebels. Wrist Rebels is a website that has all of those small micro brands and independent brands that are really hard to find all in one place. Brands like Sika Design, Mon, Formex, Awake, and Beau Blue, and many other brands you won't find anywhere else. Definitely check out Wrist Rebels at wristrebels.com. Also check out their Instagram at Wrist Rebels, and if you end up buying something, tell them that Watchchris sent you. The next thing I hate is something that I have talked about here on my channel over and over and over again, and I have made so many arguments against paying over retail and waiting on wait lists to buy watches. I don't like dealer shenanigans. I don't understand when I go someplace and I want to spend my money, they tell me I can't. That makes 0 sense to me, and I think there's a few different reasons why people consistently pay over retail or put their name on a wait list that is ridiculously long. The first reason is kind of understandable. It's FOMO, the fear of missing out on getting the watch that you think you want, for whatever the reason may be. I really think you should resist that urge at all costs. There are plenty of different watches out there. You really don't need to have FOMO. There's so many different choices, and there's constantly watches being made every day. If a watch is sold out that you really wanted, or you don't have the pull at your AD and you're not able to get the exact watch that you want, there are plenty of other watches out there. Waitlist for me, I genuinely don't understand them. If I'm buying a car, a watch, or a bottle of water, if the line is too long, I'm not going to wait on that line. If I go into a car dealership and I say I want this car, and they say to me, you can't have that for a year, 2 years, I'm going to tell them I need a car. I have to have a car. I don't understand why I can't have the car if I have the money. If the demand is too high, then I'm sure there's an alternative to that car that I can buy. In some cases, maybe there's not. In most cases, there are alternatives that are equally as good, in most cases, to the item that you actually want. And usually with those items, you're going to be able to buy them at a discount. So I know I always say don't pay retail, but if Rolex were selling at retail, I probably would own a Rolex. The only reason why I don't own Rolex is because they sell over retail or there's wait lists. I don't want to deal with that. People are crazy. I've heard people say to me, I bought this watch, a watch that they maybe really didn't want to further their relationship with their AD, not their wife, not their kids, their AD. You're spending money in order to get the privilege to spend more money. It just doesn't make sense. And then the second part of this, or at least the second part of this for me, is that this sort of ties into the flex community. When you walk up with a watch that people know that there is a 2-year wait for, and they're paying 10 times over retail for, and you have it on your wrist, people say, well, this guy either has a lot of money or he has a lot of pull. And there are certain people out there that will only wear watches that have waiting lists, that are selling over retail. They won't wear it if it's not a flex. They live for the reaction of the people around them when they show them their watch and they're like, whoa, how'd you get that? That's exactly what they want. And if they don't get that reaction, they'll sell that watch immediately, I guarantee it. My last point on this list is snobbery. And every time I talk about snobbery, I realize that I might be a little bit of a snob, because I am a snob against people that flex or say that their watches are investment pieces. I'm immediately turned off by people like that. I have to say, there is a high level of snobbery, and we put a lot of weight on brand recognition. And I think that is sort of the core of some of the snobbery. Some people look down on other people who can't afford expensive watches, or vice versa. There are people who only collect affordable watches who look down at people who buy expensive watches and say, hey, they're stupid. They could buy a cheaper watch and get all the same specs and all the same quality. We put too much weight on brand recognition. I would say there are a lot of brands who are snobs as well. Recently, I hosted my own watch fair here in New York. I called it Gotham Time. It was a really great time. It was over basically 2.5 days, and we had about 20 some odd brands come through. The brands ranged in price from $500 to $55,000. And all of the brands that showed up there were very happy to be in the room. They didn't care that they were sitting next to a watch that cost $395. However, their watch cost $45,000 and $55,000 and $20,000. There were a lot of expensive watches there, but there were equal amounts expensive versus affordable watches. And that's the way I collect. And that's the reason why I wanted it to be like that. It was very intimate. You got to sit down with the brands. It was amazing. However, there were some brands that I reached out to and I said, hey, here are the brand lists that we have. And they came back to me and said, no, we won't be in the room with this brand. And it made me think, why won't they be in the room with this brand? Do they have something that they're hiding, or are they insecure about their brand versus this more affordable brand that offers very similar specs for obviously a better price? Is it the brand recognition? Yeah, I think that there are brands that are snobs. I think collectors can be snobs. I don't like all of the snobbery. I try to check myself all the time when I'm talking about watches, and if I come off as a snob, because I genuinely don't want to be a snob. I make videos like this and I write it all down, and I realize in some cases I'm being a little bit of a snob, so I do try actively to stop that. So bottom line, don't put too much weight into a brand name. Brand name is very important. It shouldn't weigh your decisions. If you like something that is affordable, buy it. We get back to that original comment that I made at the beginning of this video. Collect what you like. It's on your wrist. It's your money. It's your time. You have to love what's on your wrist. We only get one chance at this life. You wouldn't hang around with people you don't like. Why hang around with watches you don't like? And those are 3 things that I'm constantly working through collecting in general. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. Tell me some things that you hate about watch collecting in general. Tell me down in the comment section. I want to hear from you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Again, I did make a book. I will put a link to that book down in the description. It's called Heroes Wear Watches. I made this with my wife. She was the author. We have a beautiful illustrated children's book, and it's really very, very special to me, and hopefully you guys love it too. I will put a link down in the description. Definitely check it out if you are interested. Anyway guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. And again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. I'll catch you guys in the next